write your additions on a piece of bloody paper and stop.
Hal, we have a problem. Give me that question back.
Well, all right.
Sean Kelly just bought this question for $7. Sean.
Come back, Sean. You've got a question to answer.
Now, if someone had $8, maybe we could...
Nobody wants to hear what art is.
That's never happened before.
Yes,
I feel dirty.
Sponsored, but never questions censored or smothered by the monetary motive.
I feel really dirty. So I'd like to make a statement. Can I make a statement?
Please do, Chicken. He's paid for me not to answer, but he hasn't paid for you not to answer.
I would like to say for the record that what just happened, that interaction, that was art.
Sure, and it was. Because art, in its very nature, is reproductive and imitative. And there you have it.
Also, man, we had a situation here where we had a logistical problem that was solved by creative means. That was completely unexpected. It was humorous. It was divisive. It brought people together. It was community building, really, what Sean Kelly did.
Well, that's arguing against it because that makes it useful. And art can never be practical, surely. But I think Chicken has put this whole thing in the appropriate perspective. Money has changed hands and we must move on. Let's answer one more. Terrible tattoos, eh, Robin? Terrible tattoos.
Oh my. What the fuck does that? I can't read it. What does it say? Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wonder what it was that David Burke does in his spare time, you now know. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and we have a small. Okay, we're gonna get back to this question here. This is a question. It's a little long here. Here we go.
Read it right.
Dr. Hal.
Yes?
Today I was walking on Larkin and Eddy, and my friends and I noticed what looked like a cracked out array of shit on the sidewalk from a distance. Could have been a for sale pile, but upon arrival realized it was a bunch of dirty clothes and about a dozen uncapped hypodermic needles, one full of blood. There were a couple of nasty folks having an intimate moment nearby, and we were forced to walk into the street for sanitary reasons. On the next block, we saw a cop stopped in traffic. We said to him, "There's some really excessive shit going on the next block." And he said, "Do you live in San Francisco?" And we replied, "Yes, but this is like a hazmat situation." And then the cop said, "That's funny. What's the date? It's not the 1st or the 15th. Shrugged and drove away. Turning casually down the next street. So, the actual question is, what exactly do you have to do in the Tenderloin to attract police attention?
Well, you know, the officer, the man in blue, lays his life on the line for you. Yeah, it's a proud and lonely thing to be a cop, and they necessarily develop a very tough rhyme. You see, not every little tiddlywink crime is going to excite a cop's attention. They're not going to bust a little Timmy for piddling in the inkwell. They're looking for actual malfeasors of great sinfulness. And so, I have to say, if you really want this, if you want to get to a cop, you gotta hit him where he lives and dump a box of donuts into the gutter.
Got that, Robin? Yeah. Box of donuts.
Well, I know you.
Pretty good.
Don't you not drink?
You wouldn't dump good donuts into
Have this vomit instead. You don't need to drink that. That's not
You need to dump the donuts that are made at a place which advertises Chinese food and donuts. Because those places cook the donuts in the hot oil that they also cook the Chinese food in. And those donuts are worthless, but the cop doesn't know that. And if you tumble them into the gutter, then you will have affronted him in his deepest sensibility. But why do it?
K-Rob, can we have the show back, please?
Here we are.
Right. Now, this question is actually, it's in 2 parts, actually.
And it's about, what would you say?
It's about 16 years of the same 7 jokes is what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Dr. Hal.
That's me.
Lemmy. Do you know who Lemmy is?
There are many Lemmys.
No. There's only one Lemmy.
Oh, Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Sure, Lemmy Caution, the hero of Jean-Luc Godard's Alphaville. He was a gangster played in the movie by Eddie Constantine. Alphaville is on a distant planet. However, you can get there in a Ford Galaxy. But I have a occult power to know that's not what the question is about.
No. This story, you drank it. Dr. Hal, let me give you a little rock and roll history lesson, okay?
Yeah.
In the early 1970s, there was a rock band. What kind of rock would you call that, Kurt? Space rock, Hawkwind.
Space rock.
And it's called Hawkwind. And the Hawkwind band, which also some of the songs that Hawkwind performed were written by Michael Moorcock, the man who wrote the original Elric of Melville series, which was the precursor to the D&D that we all played. Hello, Noah. Right now, me and you. Let's do it. Come on. Who said that?
Michael Moorcock was one of the new wave science fiction authors of the 60s.
Coined the term science fiction, by the way. Coined the term. So anyhow, Lemmy then went on to be in a power rock trio band called Motorhead. And he was a cab driver in a movie or something, I can't remember. But he's like this iconic figure in rock and roll. Can we show a picture of Lemmy that's not Lemmy under glass here? Dear Dr. Hal.
I'm still here.
Lemmy has been doing every single drug forever.
A pioneer. I salute you.
Kind of like puzzling evidence, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Lemmy has been doing every single drug forever and basically looks the same since the 70s. Now, look at Keith Richards.
No, by now,
Nothing can prepare you for the disappointment.
David DePorto does not put up Richards' book. And Alphaville are from 1960. Alright?
The point is that Lemmy looks exactly the same as he did in 1974. And Keith Richards looks like a mummy.
Free mumia. Well, I'm over here. I've got an answer. If you're at all interested, we can continue this wallow in looking at Keith Richards' shots. Or we can come to a point where we can pass on to another question, perhaps a more enlightening one.
Wait. Before anything else happens, K-Rob needs a beer.
Please give him a beer, because otherwise he'll be forced to drink this horrendous...
Don't you wish you could just play the Darth Vader theme and somebody would hand you a beer? That's the coolest thing ever.
It's worth a try.
Here's a shot of brandy for your stupid Keith Richards question.
Brandy.
Answer the question, Hal.
Well, you know, I don't know if you ever actually got to the interrogative part of that question, but I can tell you for sure. You're saying the question, let me reconstruct it. What is this you're talking while I'm giving an answer to it? That's
oh my God.
Your footwear. That's quite nice. Yes. Over the lips, past the gums, look out stomach, here it comes. Now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for, the answer to the giant question. Here it comes. Here's the pitch, the wind-up. Now, Dr. Hal May will tell you why it is that one rock icon looks like a withered mummy, the mummy of Imhotep, priest of Isis. Oh, and another one looks well preserved. Do you catch that? Well preserved? We're talking about mummification. It all depends on what your brand of embalming fluid is. Some will be preserved better than others. Not all methods of embalming are equal. And so you see, we have variation. We have a scale of values in taxidermy which is applied to those who live not too wisely, but too well.
Who asked the Mother Teresa question? Who asked that question? Who asked? What?
Mother Teresa jumped the gun.
Can we have a chair? Can we please have a chair?
Oh, this is quite remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. It's beyond the pale that David Capurro should enjoy a K-Rob moment, but that's just what we're having happen here. Kind of incestuous to us, really. Yes, David Capurro, this is your K-Rob moment. You're not making him drink this, are you? You're giving him the brandy. Right. I see. Okay, be that way.
Now, David, we can answer your question, but we can't answer your question here. You're going to have to go somewhere else first so that we can properly answer this question, okay?
Go to your happy place.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my.
Here's the question. Why was her name Mother Teresa? She had no children, and her name was not Teresa. Hal, answer the question.
Well, Mother Teresa was named after Saint Teresa of Avila by the woman in question, who chose that sort of sanctity as her vocation. But if we grant that to her, we grant to her the identity that she chose. But there are many, Christopher Hitchens comes to mind, who say that she wasn't so saintly after all, but in fact benefited from keeping the poor in their place of wretchedness, so that their souls could be better commended to God. In other words, the entire thing will not bear the true scrutiny which, once applied, makes you unpopular. Nonetheless, I answer because of my great devotion to the truth.